Hello everyone, welcome back to Old Country Cooks. I'm Chef John. Rebecca's behind the camera. What we're going to do today is we're going to make a lasagna. Alright, there's two parts to a lasagna. There's the filler and then there's the sauce. So what we have right here, this is going to be our filler. So we have 3 eggs. We have a half cup of finely chopped fresh parsley, or you can use dehydrated, just use about a quarter of that. We have some half of a large diced onion, small dice. We have some ricotta cheese. Also, we have some finely grated Parmesan cheese in here. I'm using the can. So let's go over to the sauce. Okay, what we have, here's the sauce. So what we have some ground beef. We have some diced tomatoes in their juices. We have some tomato sauce, some black pepper, salt, which is just pink sea salt, and we have 4 large bay leaves, and I get the large ones just so I can easily to dig out. Alright, what else you're going to need to finish this off? When we start building it, you're going to need some deep dish pans or deep dish pan. One big pan's too much for me and Rebecca, but I'm making a full version, so we're going to break it down into 3 smaller pans, and I'm going to give one to the neighbor. We have the ready baked lasagna. If you don't have the oven ready lasagna, you can get the regular lasagna. Get you some one of your pans over here. Get you some very hot water in there and stick them in there and let them soak about a couple of minutes. Let them get a little soft, and they'll be ready to go. Then we have some grated Parmesan cheese we're going to put on the top. We're going to use the Pam just to be safe and spray the pan so nothing sticks. And I also like using 2 types of cheese. We have mozzarella and we have provolone. So I've got 20 slices of each. The provolone is the very thin slices. And that's about it. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get our ground beef in here. I got my pan warming up. And I always make plenty of sauce and filler, so if you have a little bit extra over, just get a little smaller pan or dish and make you a little extra. But you don't want to run out making this stuff. So what we're going to do right now, we're just going to brown this meat off. This is 85% lean. You can use anywhere. I like to use anywhere between 80 and 85. You want some fat in there. You don't want it 90 or above, or you don't want it 70 below 80, because then you're just going to wind up with a bunch of grease in your pan. Alright, we're going to go ahead and drain this. Put this down. Put this back on the stove, turn it down just a tad. Give it a good shake. Alright, we'll transfer it back over. Go ahead and remove this. We'll go ahead and add our onions. Give this a good stir. We're going to give these onions about a 2-minute cook down. And then we're going to add, and while I'm here, I'm going to just go ahead. Now this is pretty big granulate, so you don't want to use too much. It'll be too salty. And we're going to get us some black pepper. About 2 pinches. A little garlic powder in there. I forgot one other thing off there. Forgot my Italian seasoning blend. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. Doesn't take a whole lot of this. I don't drown it in that stuff. You can already smell it. Ask my camera lady, she can smell it.
Yes, I can smell it. Smells delicious.
Alright, our onions are starting to turn slightly translucent. We'll go ahead and put these 4 bay leaves in here. I'm going to put some tomato sauce. If I can get my assistant to hand me a small spatula so I can get all this good stuff out of here. You don't want this sauce too wet. It won't be thick enough. If it gets too thin, you can always add some tomato paste in there to thicken it up. And I'm not going to drain these diced tomatoes. They've had very little. They're not just drowned in liquid. And we'll also, once we get it start cooking, we'll check for taste near the end, see if we need any more salt, pepper, which I doubt we will. Give this a good stir up. Alright guys, we're going to turn this down and just let it simmer, and we're going to start putting our filler together. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put our ricotta cheese in here. I say we're going to do that, maybe not. We'll get it out. Again, I always make more than I need. You can make some, break this up a little bit. I'm going to try to stay out of film in there. Again, this is called the filler. This what will help make it set up. I'll add my 3 eggs. Them smashed up a little bit in here. All that ooey gooey cheeses. We're going to put this parsley in here. Again, you can use dehydrated, just don't use as much, use about 1/4 of that. The recipe will be down in the show more. It's easy to find, just right below the video, click on more and then drop screen will come down. Here's our grated Parmesan cheese. And we just mix this up real good, and that's our filler. And when I did the parsley, I was very careful, try to just get the leaves and very little stem. That's the worst thing you can do, is be chewing on something and you get a good old bitter stem. I'm going to leave the steps down in the show more. This first step with this first little bit of meat, you don't want to put a whole lot in there. I've sprayed the pan, you just want to put a little bit at the bottom, okay? This scoop I have right here for the meat, it's a 1/2 cup. So I may use 2 scoops of that, and what I have for the filler is a 1 cup. So once you get this down in the bottom, you go ahead and get you some noodles in there. And I like to haystack mine as I go along. They don't have to be perfect. Just give them a little snap. We're going to get about 2 in there. For the last layer, we're just going to sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese on top. All right, there we go. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to wrap it with aluminum foil on top or put a cover on it. A 375 degrees to a 400 degrees oven, depending on what you want to put on it, don't really matter. We're going to cook this. Seeing how it's already hot, it's only going to take about 45 minutes to an hour. So we'll probably let it go for an hour. Then when we take this off, we're going to put some cheese on top again once we pull the aluminum foil off, and we're going to melt that top cheese and get it good and brown. All right, we'll see you when that's done. Okay, these been in the oven at 400 for an hour. We're going to take the foil off. Oh, look at that. Looks delicious. We're going to put some provolone. These are thin slice. And we'll put some mozzarella. Just going to go ahead and use the rest of the cheese up. Alright, we're going to go back in the oven, get that good and melted and a little brown on top, and we'll be right back. Alright, we got it all done. You saw the pictures are beautiful. What I did, we put it in at 400 degrees, left it for 1 hour, and then I uncovered it, put the cheese back on it, put it back in at 400 degrees and left it for 20 minutes, and then pulled it back out, and then we let it set for about 30 minutes. Alright, taste test.
It smells so good.
Delicious. Guys, this is amazing. What you think?
It's really, really
Got
good.
her door open behind her. Boom.
Ooh.
Really good. It held its shape like it's supposed to. That's why it's very important when these come out of the oven, you have to let it rest and let everything set up.
Okay.
Right?
Did not know that.
Yes. So if you take it out and just cut it, then the cheese all melty and hot, it just falls apart. I cut a little square for her out, and it came out. I mean, you can just see a perfect square hole over in the pan where you're out at.
Yep.
So, hope you enjoyed this. I'll leave the recipe down in the show more. It'll have the steps, how to build it, and everything. So, first time here, please subscribe, share, like, comment.
Ring that bell.
Ring that bell, and most important,
Y'all come back.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
We're going to gobble this up.